Here we are, man. You blink and all of a sudden you've been in the business 40 years, Tony. How about
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It really has. And when I think about this show, I think about the fact that, well, I've told the story many times about how I became the play-by-play guy for this show. But also I think about this. It wasn't too long after this where WCW contacted me. And then I made the jump back to WCW, which many levels was a mistake, big mistake. At the time, it was a gigantic mistake. But as time rolls on, we're talking about time here, it became, look, I love my house, love my dogs. We've raised all our kids here in Georgia. So living here in Georgia has been really, really good to me on many levels. Got to work with the Bulldogs, got to do some radio with the Braves that I wouldn't have gotten had I stayed with the WWE. And then who knows, who knows with the WWE how long I would have stayed after that, because I could have been fired. Like I would have been had I taken that job 5 years ago. I would have been fired almost immediately.
You really believe that?
There's no question. There's no question in my mind that Vince wanted me to come there to fire me. So, yeah, I believe that. And
What, I'm just curious. Why do you think Vince wanted to hire you just to fire you? I'm not
well,
trying to
he wanted to hire me, and I feel bad about Bruce because Bruce is in the middle of this, and Bruce is a friend of mine, and I believe anything that Bruce tells me is legit and sincere. Vince wanted to hire me to keep me away from this upstart company, AEW.
Mm,
And then COVID happened, and
right.
they cut back. And why not cut back on one of the newest guys that just arrived? So there's no question I would have been let go. Anyway, that's another story. But who knows how long I would have stayed with the WWE had I stayed in 1990. And it just so happened in 1990, I left. I moved to Georgia, moved into this house. I've been here ever since. The house has changed a great deal. This is my studio above the garage now. So a lot has happened, a lot good, we've struggled at times, but it's been a good ride. It's been a good 40 years. It really has. And this is a great time for me. I'm really fortunate on many levels. First of all, to be able to be back in wrestling, to be able to connect with a lot of great people in wrestling. Again, a lot of youngsters that I've never would have worked with, that I have a chance to work with, not only as an announcer, but as a member of talent relations backstage. So this is a good time. It really is. And I'm very fortunate. And who knew that Sting and Ric Flair would come back to my life, huh? Who
I
knew
don't think a
that?
lot of people had that on their bingo card. And,
No.
1990 is such a weird year too. We're going to be watching part of Royal Rumble 1990. But when you go back to WCW, you come in and one of the big angles is Sting as the world champion. Of course, he's going to win the world title that year and then start a feud with the Black Scorpion. This mystery man who's chasing the champ, and it's like,
Yeah.
Sting and Ric Flair back together again, and there's a mystery man
Yeah.
feuding with the champ. Man, what's old is new again in professional wrestling, and it's fun to notice, the cycles and the ebbs and flows of the business, and of course, history repeats itself, as they say,
Yeah.
and that's what's great about wrestling is I think there's so many fun moments around the corner that we can hope to relive, but lots of stuff we would have never guessed, like A, Tony Schiavone being back in wrestling, B, Ric Flair and Sting being on TBS and TNT again. Like it's crazy stuff. It's something nobody could have predicted just a handful of years ago.
I know. And I think back to this year. Now, this was the first part of the year, 1990. 1990 was a very trying year for me. Because of the move, it's not easy to move 5 kids and a couple of pets back to the metro Atlanta area. So that was tough. And the kids were young back then, very young. So it was very tough moving them again. I went from a very organized, very great place to work to a horrible place to work with a boss who didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. Ole Anderson was the booker. we had this idea for the Black Scorpion, and it was one of the most convoluted ideas that you will ever find backstage, because they had no idea who the Black Scorpion would be.
Mm.
There was going to be Al Perez. Now Perez didn't want to be the Black Scorpion. Then it was going to be this guy. No, that wouldn't work. And Jim Herd didn't want that to work. And it's going to be this person. And I'm thinking during 1990 that I've made the biggest mistake of my life, that my career is freaking over. Because this place is, I really expected, they're going to, as the old saying goes, the sheriff's going to put a lock on the door, and they're going to shut us down because we're fucked. And after going around and who's going to be the Black Scorpion? No, not him. Maybe he'll be the Black Scorpion. No, not him. Flair finally said, fuck it, I'll be it. And that's why Flair became the Black Scorpion. And when he took the robe off, when he walked out, he fooled no one. And you know why he fooled no one? Because of that freaking honker of a nose sticking through the mask. As soon as he took the robe off, people in St. Louis were going, woo! So the Black
honker,
Scorpion.
Your old great close personal friend Arn Anderson used to have a nickname for Flair that referenced the honker.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what that was.
Yeah, Beak. That's what he called him, Beak. I mean, he called him that all the time. Instead of Rick or Flair, he called him Beak.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. So Tony, I got to be honest with you. We've got a little special surprise lined up for you today. We're not just
I got 3 dogs here.
What?
That's a surprise.
Okay, let's talk about that. So
there's
we got Kirby.
Yeah.
We got Bug.
And there's right here, there's Scout. Scout was spayed yesterday, so she's got that collar on.
Scout's kind of the jobber of the family, right?
No. The jobber of the family is Kirby.
Well, we saw it, all the Kirbys go down to Saban. We know that. But why don't you name that dog Saban? Get a real winner in there.
I see what's going on.
What's happening?
Kirby is chewing on her little thing she gets in the morning, which is like a toothbrush thing or like clean her teeth.
Okay.
And Scout, who is not the jobber, is stalking her because she steals everybody's treats.
Oh, I see. So she's the bandit of the family.
Oh, she's the worst.
What about Bug? Where's he on this? It looks like he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit until they get into their face. Now, what we've done here at the Bug is I've got an electric blanket right here for Bug. So he's all warm.
Is the blanket plugged in?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Bug is sitting in an electric blanket right now as we record this podcast.
Yes, he is.
Wow.
And see how he's turned looking at him? He does not want. And look at, she's trying to steal. Boy, she is. This little girl is something. She'll probably just take a harness. She'll probably just, what's that?
Do you have a harness for Bug? Like in that movie, The Hangover, where Alan put the baby on him. I mean, can you carry?
Oh, no, I don't have that. I have a harness that goes around him that we hook into it. No, walking and hooking into when we ride around,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you have like the walking around harness? I think I would love to see you walking around admonishing people backstage at AEW with a dog hanging on your chest.
Well, we do have one, but Bug is, it's really not good for Bug. We tried we're looking for a sling. I've seen people carry their dog in a sling.
Yes.
Looking for that to carry him around. There goes Kirby.
Can you imagine the shit you would get if you showed up to TV with Bug on a harness?
Yeah. I get shit at TV anyway, so I don't care.
I'm just saying Taz would have a field day with that.
Oh, yeah. He sure would.
Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.